Well, let's talk about how to start a worm farming business. If you are new to worm farming, I'm just letting you know there are two books that I have read and I highly recommend to anyone that is wanting to learn about worms. So, number one, it's the book Worms Eat My Garbage by Mary Applehoff. And then another book that I just purchased was this book, Worm Farming Handbook by what's her name? Zero Books. This is a great book. It's about a worm farmer's guide to setting up and sustaining a worm composting and vermiculture system. I know a lot about worms, but I'm still learning. And the problem with life, if you think you know everything, then you got no other reason in life for living. But like I said, this is a good book. It took me less than 3 hours to read it. Once I started reading this book, I could not put it down. So if you're interested, I'll place those two books I recommend in the links below. So here's what you need to do. First thing, you're going to have to think of exactly why you want worms. You know, what is your mission? Do you want to make a lot of money or a little money? And how much money do you want to make? So you got to write it down. You got to make goals. You got to have a plan. So write that down and figure out what you want. Now, the basic things you have to do is one, get the bin established. And you got to know exactly where you're going to start your worm farming business. Is it going to be in a basement? Or are you going to have it in a store or in your closet, or where you're going to have it? You got to know exactly where you're going to have your worm farm going. You got to get that started, and then you got to get worms. And then you got to think, what type of worms do you want? Do you want to sell red wigglers? Do you want to sell 100% red wigglers? Do you want to sell European night crawlers or African night crawlers? You have to know where you live and look, and what's the temperature when you're coming to raise your worms and selling your worms. Another thing that you're going to have to do, you're going to have to decide how many worms you want, because you can't start your business. I'm not going to say you can't, but 100 worms, you're not going to be successful. You're going to have to buy at least 4 or 5 pounds or more, and then you're going to have to network your worms and find out who's interested. You're going to have to go talk to people. You're going to have to put it on YouTube. You're going to have to buy ads. You're going to have to just get your face out there. I'm not saying you're going to be a one-hit wonder overnight. It's going to take time, but you got to start off with the basics. You got to know who you're serving to, how you're going to ship them. That's going to cost you a little money. But like I said, just start off selling your worms to your local community, and you'll be fine. I have sold a few worms. I sold probably on average about 6 pounds. But for me, I don't have the time and energy to go big time. My job consists of many hours, and no one in my family really wants to mess with worms except for me. So that's why I don't have the time, because I would need help. But that's a few things to look into. But like I said, you're not going to be a one-hit wonder. Just start with the basics. Get a few worms. Buy at least 5,000 worms. Depends on what breed you want and what you want to, connect with. After a while, you sell some castings. You might have to give a few castings away, a couple of pounds to your local nurseries, or give a few to your YMCA or something. And word of mouth goes a long ways if you're good with people. But I know plenty of other people that have worm farming businesses. And if you'd like, contact with me, because I can lead and steer you in the right direction if you want to go big time. But I'm telling you, it's not going to be easy, and not everyone's going to be successful. But if you don't try, you'll never know. But here's another video to learn more about worms. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe, share, and you have a great day. Bye.